Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another Games Explained episode. I am Peridger, and today we're going to be talking about Artifact. Artifact is the first game by Valve made in a long time. It is a game analogous to Magic the Gathering, if you have played something like that. It is a deck-building, dueling game, or collectible card game, or trading card game. In this case, it's not really trading because you can't trade, but you can buy and sell. And let's get to that first, because a lot of people are giving this game very bad scores because they enter it with the misunderstanding that it is like Hearthstone. I need to say that up front. It is not the same business model as Hearthstone. It is not free to play. And if you want to play the constructed format where you build a deck out of a collection of cards and then fight that deck against other players, if you want to play that format, you will have to pay more than the $20 up front. However, if you, like me, enjoy playing draft format, you can play draft format and be competitive without spending more than the initial $20. If you like the idea of draft, I highly recommend checking this game out. If you like what you see, I recommend buying this game. If you like the idea of constructed and you don't want to spend more than the $20, just walk away. The game's not for you. If you like the idea of constructed and building a collection and making the best deck you can from that collection, or just building the best deck you can make and just getting that. You don't need all the cards. You just need the cards for your one deck. You're going to have to pay $30, $40, maybe $50 for a single deck that you can play the way that you want. Or upwards of maybe $200, $300 for an entire collection of 3 copies of every card. So, quick run through of how these kind of games work. You're building a deck out of a collection of cards. And let's quickly, yes, we've unchecked all the things. These are all the cards in the game. There's about 288 or so. You can build a deck from up to 3 copies of each card, and then you can fight that deck against other players. So there's a lot to be said about the strategy of how you construct your deck, how your opponent constructed their deck, and how you play your deck and respond to their deck in the game itself. That's what determines how you win. So that means if you don't spend a lot of money, if your collection is small, you're limited in how you can construct your deck. And some of the rarer cards are the more powerful cards. In that sense, constructed is pay to win. But it's got a plateau, unlike many other pay-to-win games like mobile games and things like that. Once you've finished your collection, you can't spend more money to get better. At that point, you have to determine how good you are by constructing your deck well. At that point, skill is the only thing that matters. So that is the way to look at this. And we'll explain exactly what draft is by doing a demonstration in a separate video. But for now, all you have to know is you're basically building a deck by picking from randomized sets of cards, and everybody's in the same boat. They're all picking from randomized sets of cards. So you're not building the perfect deck. You're building an imperfect deck, the best deck you can build from the cards that are available to you. And then you're playing against other people who are doing the same thing, and that way it is very competitive. Okay, so let's jump in and actually play the game. So I'm going to use one of the things that you get when you buy the game for $20. You get 5 of these event tickets, which lets you enter into these expert play modes. These all cost 1 ticket to enter, with the exception of Keeper Draft. That requires 5 packs because you also get to keep the cards. But these modes give you rewards for winning. That's why it costs money to enter. $1 to enter, and if you go 3-1, 3-2, or 3-0, if you go 3-2, you get 1 ticket. If you go 4-2, you get 1 ticket and a pack of cards. If you go 5-0, 5-1, or 5-2, then you get 1 ticket and 2 packs of cards. basically each of these is how many wins can you get before you've acquired 2 losses. As soon as you get 2 losses, you're out. So you want to win at least 3 times before you get 2 losses. If you do that, you get your money back. You get a ticket back, you can enter again. Excuse me. So that's how this works. And draft is the same thing. You don't get to keep the cards you play with, but you get prizes if you win lots of games. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with playing with the pre-constructed decks that you get. You got these 5 event tickets, you get 10 packs, and you get 2 pre-constructed decks that you can play with. And we're going to play against the computer right now. And so, let us enter the arena. No, that's Hearthstone. I don't know what this is. It's a weird book thing. The tent? We're in a tent, maybe? So there's a lot of things to explain. And my opponent just took his first action because he won the random coin flip for initiative. But let's first explain how you win this game. It's very similar to Magic the Gathering. You're putting creatures and heroes and things out on this board. They're fighting the other side's creatures and heroes. And as in Magic, if there's no enemies to defend, you get to do damage to your opponent, which is represented by this tower right over here and the health that it has. So let's take a step back and explain why this is so very different from Magic. You got 3 lanes. You got 3 health pools. The game ends when one side loses either 2 towers, or in 2 different lanes, or they lose the tower and then they lose the 80 health ancient behind it. So essentially, can you do 40 damage in 2 different lanes to the tower, or can you do 120 damage in a single lane before your opponent does the same to you? All right, now, how do you do that damage? Well, right now, we're going to start by playing in the first lane. And then after we're done playing there, we play in the second lane. And after we're done playing there, we play in the third lane. And then after done playing there, we go through a little cleanup phase, and we draw new cards and deploy some new heroes, and then we start again. Left lane, middle lane, right lane. In each of those lanes, when we play there, combat occurs. Heroes die, creeps die, take damage, heroes take damage, and the towers can take damage if there's nobody to block for them. In this case, due to the random setup at the beginning of the game, none of our towers will take any damage because these 2 units can't get to this tower because there are 2 things in the way. And these 2 units can't get to this tower because there are 2 things in the way, etc., etc. We'll see how the tower damage works later. Now, from there, let's talk about the colors of the decks. They have themes. The red deck is all about strong stats on their heroes and creeps, and buffing those heroes and creeps with even stronger stats so that they get more and more powerful and more unstoppable, and everything in front of them dies and your opponent can't keep up. So a perfect example of this would be this guy right here. The stats are located at the bottom of the card: attack, armor, health. Not every creature has armor, but every unit, heroes and creeps, will have attack and health. This one is particularly strong, and if we look at and compare it to, say here, you can see 6-1-11 is much stronger than a 7-5. Much easier to kill this one. However, this one, by the way, this is Debbie from accounting. Oh, sorry, Debbie the Cunning. This one has a continuous passive effect. She deals +2 damage when attacking a hero or a tower. So that's sort of the trade-off on a lot of these heroes. The red heroes don't really necessarily have very powerful abilities, or they have abilities that revolve around their stats, whereas many of the other color heroes have powers on the hero itself. So this is a passive continuous. It's always in effect. Here's an ability that's usable once every 2 rounds, and in the first round, obviously, it's got a counter 2. You can't play it until the third round, because we need to wait for 2 more rounds before it's available. But once it's available, you can use it as an active effect. Give a hero and its allied neighbors -2 armor this round. So you'd use that as a debuff on an opposing hero. Here's another example. A reactive ability. Modify this hero, Necrophos, with +1 health after an enemy neighbor dies. And we'll talk about these keywords and what they mean later as we go. But what the word modify means is this hero is changed permanently for the rest of the game. Obviously, at the beginning of every game it resets, otherwise he would be incredibly powerful. And so he gets stronger over the course of the game as things across the table from him die. And finally, you've got this guy here. Sven has +X cleave, where X is equal to half its attack, rounded down. So what that means is you can see every other lane, this guy is attacking this guy. You can see by the little arrow. This guy's attacking this guy right across from him. But cleave has indicated, hey, I'm not only attacking the guy across from me, I'm attacking the guy to the left and the right of the guy across from me. In this case, cleave never goes through an empty space into the tower. That doesn't work. It only attacks the things in the space across from him and the neighbors of that space. So in this case, we can look and see, hey, this guy's doing 2 damage, and Sven is doing 2 damage to Necrophos. So he's going to take a total of 4. That's what the red boxes mean. If nothing else changes, this creep's going to die, and this creep's going to die, because they're each going to take more damage than they have health. Things can change. It's my turn to act. We know because this lit up button here. We saw earlier my opponent played a card called Iron Fog Gold Mine. This is a card called an improvement. It's one of 3 different types of cards. Improvements go into a specific lane, and they look like this. If we double click on it, we can see the card again. So we know exactly what it does. After the combat phase of this lane, the person gains 3 gold. The player gains 3 gold. Improvements stay here permanently, and they constantly have an effect in this lane unless you have some special card ability that lets you destroy an improvement. So, improvements in that sense are more permanent than heroes and creeps. I can't kill this with my hero. That's just not going to happen. My hero can't damage this with his normal attack. So, improvements are the first type of card, and you can see they have this fortress symbol in the top left corner. The next type of card is a creep card. You can see this one has the creep symbol in the top left corner. These are played directly onto the board. They are the other thing that gets played onto the board besides heroes. And you can tell, by the way, what heroes are because they have these 3 slots at the top for a weapon, armor, and accessory. Those are item slots. We'll talk more about those later. So the last type of card, hero, improvement, creep, is a spell. Cards with this little symbol are spells. They have one-time effects that go away after. And as we mentioned, you can hover over all this text to know exactly what they mean. Units are heroes or creeps. Attack is what the damage it does, etc., etc. So, now we know what all the types of cards are. The number in the top left corner of the card is the cost to play it in mana. So it costs 2 mana to play this Bronze Legionnaire. It costs 3 to play this and this, except, wait a minute, where's this mana coming from? Every lane has its own mana pool of 3 mana on turn 1, 4 on turn 2, 5 on turn 3, etc., etc. So in that way, it is similar to Hearthstone. If I spend some mana here, and we're done with this lane, we go to this lane, I'm going to get a brand new mana pool to play new cards. So, what can I do here? I can't play this green card, even though I have the correct amount of mana, because I don't have a green hero here. If you ever lose all your heroes in a lane, you can't play cards to that lane. You can't play cards in that lane. It's terrible. It's awful. It's not something you want to have happen. In this case, let's just start churning through and explain as we go. I've got this Bronze Legionnaire. He's a creep. He's got 4 damage, 2 armor, and 2 health. That's pretty damn good. And we're going to place him here because when you place a creep, they must be placed across from an enemy hero or creep if possible. In this case, I can't do that. There's no enemy units that are not opposed by one of mine. So I can put him either on the left or the right. And the position could matter. I'm going to choose to put him here.
For the glory of Stonehall.
And now, whenever you play a creep, it will attack the thing directly across from it on that phase. And you can see we're doing 4 damage to the enemy tower because there's nothing to block us here. And my opponent immediately passed because he has 0 mana. And he has no item cards, so he can't play any cards in this lane anyway, so he passed. Because he passed first, if I pass now, the round is over, and combat begins in the lane, and then we move on to the next lane. So we take turns back and forth playing cards or passing until we both pass in a row. So if I were to play another card right now, like I played an item card which doesn't cost any mana, then he could respond by playing something from his side, even though he already passed. But in this case, I'm going to pass, and we're going to see what happens. We know that those 2 guys were going to die. They had X's. Now let's go back there real quick. Nope, he's going to take us back there real quick. And that's a good example of another type of special ability on a card. Even though the creeps died, these 2 units don't get pushed together. They stay in their positions. So on the next turn, assuming nothing else changes, we're going to do 9 damage to their tower because these 2 characters are attacking past nothing. This guy's attacking past nothing and getting 5 damage on my tower. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, what did he just do? We were in this lane, and he played Ignite. This is another improvement. It deals 1 piercing damage to each enemy before the action phase, so as soon as we get to the lane. And he targeted lane 1. Normally, you cannot play cards into another lane, except for the active lane. That's the only place you can play cards. However, this card has these 2 arrows to the left and right, saying you can play it in any lane you want. You can make its target any lane you want. You have to play it in the active lane, but from there, you can target any lane. So that's what most improvements have, these arrows, if not all of them have these arrows. So that's important to know, that you could load up a single lane with these improvements, and that's one of the strategies in the game that can be very successful, is you can build this oncoming rush of improvements that are just stronger and stronger and stronger forever until it's just unstoppable. Okay, so what's going on in this lane? He already spent all 3 of his mana on that card. I know he doesn't have any item cards, which we'll get to later, because you can see the back of his cards. They would be gold if they had items. So he literally cannot play any more cards here. So I can look at here and decide, do I want to do anything? Well, I like this matchup. We're going to trade, and I'm going to get some extra. I'm going to get a kill here. He's not going to get any kills. And I've got this nice little pack leadership effect, which means that this guy has 1 extra armor. So he's going to survive a little longer than he otherwise might. Avernus's Blessing. Modify a unit with +2 attack. Well, this seems like it would go very well on something that we want to stay alive. I could modify any unit here. Unit is this guy or this guy. But, you know what? This creep, he's not going to be here very long. When he goes away, he's gone forever. A hero, when they go away, they still come back with the same stats that they left with, and same upgrades and items that they left with. Modify modifies him permanently. I want to use it on him. Obviously, it's not going to change anything now. He was going to kill this creep regardless. But this way, I've spent the mana in this lane, which doesn't carry over. So if I didn't spend it now, I would not get to spend it later. So now he's stronger for the future. And you notice sometimes gold pops up. Well, it pops up every time something dies. When you kill a creep, you get 1 gold into your bank at the bottom or the top corner here. When you kill an enemy hero, you get 4 gold into the bank. He got 3 gold from that, this guy here. After the combat phase, he gets 3 gold every turn. So now back to the 3rd lane here. I don't have any red cards that cost less than 3 mana, so I just have to let this go. Let these heroes kill the creeps across from them. We'll both get a little more gold. He'll be better off than me. And we go to the shopping phase. Take a look at the secret shop. Now, when you build a deck, you not only include the 40 cards for your main hand that we have down here, you also include at least 9 items. So this middle column... Hello, Streisel. This middle column is the 9 items that this deck had constructed in it. Excuse me. Still getting over a cold. And on the right is a random card from a set of consumables that you have no control over. That is, everybody gets the same set of cards, randomly chosen and set up over here. And on the left is an assortment of every card that you could conceivably stick in your item deck. Randomly, one of them is chosen and put over here. So that gives you access to a lot more than just the cards that you have. Now, we're going to buy one of these because we have 3 gold. We can either get a healing salve or leather armor. As a general rule, my thought is that these consumable items are worth buying if you have either a ton of extra gold or if you have a specific use for it on the next turn. If I go and view the board and I say, oh man, this hero is going to die next turn, but if I let him live, then he's going to kill the guy across from him, and he'll still be there next turn, and that can help win the game. Then you might buy a consumable. If you don't have a specific use for it, and you can afford something you want from the item section in the middle or on the left, it's almost always better to buy those. Because those are going to affect the rest of the game, whereas your consumable will only affect the one round. It's a consumable. Once it's done, it's gone. So I'm going to buy this leather armor, one of the weakest armors in the game. And you can see after you buy something from the middle, then a random next one from your deck is available. If I had another 3 gold, I could buy this. If I had another set of gold after that, I could buy the next one. But I don't have any more money, so I'm done. My opponent did the same thing. They spent, or didn't spend their gold in this case. They're probably saving up to get some better stuff. Now, we're back at the beginning. This is what's called the deployment phase. This is the first part of any round. So, 2 creeps from each side, basic creeps with 2 attack and 4 health. You can see one here from his side, one here from my side, are randomly assigned to a lane. And this keeps the game fresh. It keeps you on your toes. You don't have control of that. You have to react to what is happening, and that's one of the things that makes the game interesting. It is an RNG element of the game. Sometimes you can get screwed by where these creeps go. But I haven't found it to be as big a random effect as in Hearthstone. I feel like Hearthstone has more random elements that turned me off from it more than this game. But let's continue. So every deployment phase, 2 creeps go into either lane. Except the first round, 3 creeps are distributed. That's why each creep had a lane, had 1 in each lane last time. It does not guaranteed to go 1 in each lane. Sometimes they'll go 2 in 1. Sometimes they'll go 3 to 1 lane and none of the others. But it's random. But then for the rest of the game, it's 2. And now, if you recall, we had the 3 heroes that we started the game with. They were randomly assigned 1 to each lane. And my opponent's heroes did exactly the same thing. You, when you're building your deck, construct which 3 heroes start in round 1. You can't tell which lane they go to, but you can say, I'm going to start with these 3 heroes in the first round. Then, I'm going to start with this hero in the second round, and that hero in the third round. So every time you play a deck, the heroes come out in the same round. In the first round, you can't choose where they go, but every other time a hero comes out, either coming back from death or the heroes that come out in the second and third rounds, you can choose which lane they go to. That's the main choice we're making in the deployment phase. Where do I put this new hero? Well, we know we've already done some damage to this tower, and the main way of winning is doing damage to 2 towers until they're both gone. But there's something to be said that if I put my hero here to help do more damage to this tower, I can still only play green cards here, because they're both green heroes. Whereas, if instead I were to play this hero here, it would let me play green and red cards in the first lane. It would give me more versatility. So I think that's where I'm going to choose to go with this time. I'm no expert in the game. There's probably an optimal move here. I'm not going to take the time to think about it. I'm trying to explain what's going on here. So now that I've chosen, I can take it back. I can say, wait a minute, hold on. No, I want him to go here. No, wait, I want him to go here. And then until you hit this button, it's not locked in. Now, your opponent, you can also see which of your opponent's heroes is coming onto the board right now, but you don't know where. So maybe I'll look at this and go, I bet he's going to put his blue hero over here because he's in trouble over here. So that's why I'm putting my green hero over here. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. If you can properly predict what your opponent is going to do with their hero, it lets you more intelligently select where your own hero is going. In this case, I was kind of right. Now, whoa, hold on. What's going on here? We've got weird arrows going everywhere. So, in this case, you saw there was a straight arrow here and a curved arrow here. A lot of stuff is happening. Hold on. We're going to get back to the arrows in just a second. There's an arrow. When in the deployment phase, new creeps or heroes are placed onto the board, they have a 50% chance of attacking straight in front of them. They have, if there's nothing in front of them, they have to deploy one of these arrows. If there's something in front of them, they always attack the thing across from them. If there's nothing in front of them, they have a 50% chance of attacking directly across from them and going through and hitting the tower. They have a 25% chance of attacking to the left, and they have a 25% chance of attacking to the right. So those arrows are just showing the results of that randomization. So there was a chance, by the way, this guy got an automatic straight across. This guy on the left, when the arrows rolled for him, it gave him a 25% chance to the left. Since there was nothing to the left, that winds up just going straight. So in this guy's case, in this turn, it was 75% chance to go straight and 25% chance to gang up on the blue hero and hit him along with our main guy here. Now, that wouldn't have helped us much because our main guy was going to kill the blue hero anyway. We didn't need these guys to gang up, but sometimes they do, and sometimes it's in your favor. So there's that little unpredictability, keeps the game fresh. It keeps you thinking on your toes. There's not a perfect move every game. You have to evaluate what are the chances of this happening, and how can I mitigate it if it goes wrong? How can I take advantage of it if it goes right? Okay. So, what are we going to do here? We already know we buffed this guy with an extra +2 attack thanks to... Oh, I'm sorry. That's +2 attack thanks to the Feral Impulse. This guy's allied neighbors have +2 attack. That's pretty nice. We've got a lot of cards we can play, but let's talk about this item card. Because this is the 5th card type in the game. Item cards can only be played on heroes, and they go in those slots at the top. Either a weapon, armor, or accessory. Where do we want to put this leather armor? Well, I'm tempted to just go, let's put him on this guy. But we also have to think carefully. Could we use this leather armor more effectively in a different lane? Is there somebody else for which it could be more valuable? In this case, it thinks probably not. This guy's only taken 1 damage. He's already got some armor. This guy's fighting a creep. He's not taking that much damage. So I think we're okay there. Whereas this guy is going up against a hero. He's taking 3 damage, and he's pretty strong. I really like his cleave effect. And his cleave effect is actually doing bonus damage because this guy's next to him. So let's give the leather armor to him.
This is what I need.
Again, that... Oh, he equipped his hero with a special cloak. This hero was going to die, but because he added an extra 4 to its max health, now it's not going to die anymore. As you recall, that X that was here is gone now because of what just happened. Okay, and these items that we have added to our heroes remain with them even if they die. When a hero dies, 2 turns later, they're allowed to come back in the deployment phase. So if one of these heroes dies, like this blue one, he won't come back next turn, he'll come back the turn after. So now we got to decide how we spend our 4 mana here. We've got a lot of 4 mana cards. Stun a hero blocking an allied red hero this round and deal 2 damage to it. That won't really help us here, because stunning stops them from doing damage in the combat round, and it prevents their opponent from using any active abilities on their card, and it prevents their opponent from playing cards of that color if that's their only colored hero in the game. in the lane. So if this was their only blue hero and they had not acted yet, and I was worried about what blue cards they were going to play, I might use Sucker Punch to stun this guy so he could not play blue cards. But he's already used all his mana. That's a bad move this turn. Let's see. Arm the Rebellion specifically gives bonus. Modify, remember, is a permanent change. Modify allied creeps with +2 attack and 1 armor. That really would only affect these guys. It seems like that's a very powerful card if you can have it affect 3 or more creeps. But 2 attack and 1 armor would be enough to kill this hero. 2 attack would kill him. Sucker Punch would do that too, but I can't use it on him. Savage Wolf is a new creep we could add to the board. So is Satyr Duelist and Prowler Vanguard. So allied neighbors have +1 armor. That's pretty good. Allied neighbors, by the way, are your guys to your left and right. Enemy neighbors are all 3 opposing people across from you. So this guy's enemy neighbors, Sven's enemy's neighbors, are this, this, and this. So if something on Sven's card or an effect say enemy neighbors of this creature, they're talking about all 3 of these cards. So we can put him down. He doesn't do any damage, but he does buff the people next to him, and he has lots of health. So we could use him to help block damage we're taking somewhere. We can also modify Satyr Duelist with +2 attack after the combat phase. So this guy gets stronger every turn. That's pretty good. And the Savage Wolf gets stronger every turn. Not quite as fast, but it also gains health in addition to attack. Here's the real question. Do we want to use any of these in a different lane? Not a lot of creeps here. Arm the Rebellion, not super helpful. Not a lot of creeps here. Same reason. Here, Sucker Punch is the only one we can play. Here, we could probably play one of these creeps, and the other one we could play in a different lane. I think we want to play Prowler Vanguard here, in this lane, in order to give him a little bit of extra armor. Or we put Prowler Vanguard here in order to make sure that anything that spawns across from this hero would get extra armor. Including our own heroes. That's a pretty good play. So let's save Prowler Vanguard for that lane. And instead, we can add a Savage Wolf, I think. Because we know it's going to get stronger every turn. Oh, but it'll die next turn. That's a tough pick. We have to put it here if we put it somewhere. Because if there is an opposing enemy, we have to put it there. I think anything we put here is going to die next turn. No, he's going to get +2 health. That'll work. Let's do this. So, we now know this guy's going to take 2 damage this turn, but then he's going to gain back 2 new max health after the combat phase. So he's going to be able to survive and get stronger every turn until this creep is dead, and then hopefully attack the tower. Oh, except he's going to die to ignite. Poor play on my part. Well, let's go. Keep going. Now, we killed an enemy hero. That's 4 gold. That was good for us. Very good. Now here, we said we were thinking about putting Prowler Vanguard here.
Tell us what you need, Shaman.
And there, random arrow assigned means this guy's actually attacking him. However, he doesn't have any attack, so it's not super helpful. Now, one thing we haven't talked about too much is the initiative. The initiative determines who goes first. He just passed. Because he was the first one to pass, if I pass right now, he retains the initiative for the next round. You can see it listed right here. If I'm the first one to pass, I get the initiative in the next round. $9 gold is a pretty sizable number, but we didn't get very many good options. Get a random item from the secret shop. Those could be crazy good. Let's go crazy go nuts. Let's buy that and see what we get. Again, not necessarily optimal play here. We're just looking at what we're looking at. All right, so he's got a hero with 3 attack, 8 health, and after 4 turns, 2 rounds from now on, because remember, it's already, even though the hero wasn't on the board, the cooldown starts from the very beginning of the game. So they get to draw a card every 4 rounds with this hero. That's not a great ability. This is the signature move, signature card of the hero. All heroes have 3 copies of a signature card that automatically get added to the deck when you add that hero to it. That's a pretty good ability. But overall, it's like a pretty weak hero. This hero is a pain in the dick. Every time he deals battle damage to a unit, modify that unit with -1 armor. Put him... Put him up against an enemy hero, and he will just continuously weaken them over and over again. And by the way, armor can go negative. If you make your enemy hero have -1 armor, anytime they get attacked, they take an extra +1 damage. If they're -2 armor, +2 damage, etc., etc. So if you can get him lined up with, and here's his signature card, by the way. If you can get him lined up with an enemy hero and he hits him multiple times, that hero is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. And when he comes back next turn, it's going to be bad for him. Now, we know we can do that. Look. Right now, we know there's none of our creeps are going to get assigned to this lane. And when this guy gets assigned, he'll have to go in the only open slot. If instead we assign him to this lane, then the creep or him, 50-50 shot, gets assigned against the enemy hero. So I definitely want to assign him to this lane so we can, A, kill this enemy hero, B, weaken this enemy hero permanently, and C, get a nice strong steamroll effect happening in this lane so that we can start destroying an enemy tower. They put their hero in that lane as well. So he's got initiative. He's going to get to play first. And we're drawing 2 cards at the beginning of every round. I forgot to mention that. Oh, there's his stupid... Yeah. There goes my wolf. His ignite turret. I forgot about that when I played the wolf earlier. Now, he played a relentless zombie, which is a 2/2 creep. And where'd it go? There it goes. And when it first joins the game, it gets a death shield, which means the first time it would normally die, it instead doesn't die. It takes no damage. And then the second time it would die, then it dies. So it's just like a nice blocker unit. This hero wants to do damage to the tower, but now it has to attack this stupid guy in front of it 2 turns in a row before it can get to the tower. So that was a good move with that zombie. Now, we got a new card, Crippling Blow. Modify, permanently change an enemy hero to -2 attack. That's pretty good. Might want to save that for a situation like this guy, Debbie from accounting. We want to make sure that 7 gets significantly reduced, because 7 is quite strong for a hero's attack. I don't think we want to sucker punch this guy. He's going to die anyway, and he's going to take the penalty from us. We don't need to spend sucker punch in this situation. Arm the Rebellion would only affect our wolf, but it would allow our wolf to survive. I think it's a much stronger play in this lane where we've got 3 creeps, however, so let's hold off on that. We could play another Savage Wolf, but now that this stupid Ignite is here, man, that feels like it's just going to keep hurting us. Let's take a moment and check out what our golden ticket is. Let's play it. Now we have to spend our action. Our opponent's going to get a turn to do something else. We got a Ritual. Aw, man, it's only a 4-cost card. I was hoping for a nice expensive card. Equipped hero has +4 health and -2 armor. The hero blocking the equipped hero has -2 armor. Wow. That's interesting. So whatever he did, deal 3 damage to a unit, is going to kill this hero. I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to play green cards here. So I think if we equip this on him, it will be enough to save him. And it is. He's increased his armor, so his maximum health got higher, but it also, by 4, but it also increased the damage he would take every turn from now on by 2. So it's kind of a temporary fix, but the nice thing about it is his opponent has -2 armor, so he's doing 2 more damage. And anything else attacking this guy is doing 2 more damage, which means that the cleave is actually doing more damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. See, the armor, the negative armor penalty not only applies to Lycan's damage, it also applies to Sven's cleave damage. So by applying that Riztool emblem, we increased the damage this guy was taking by 4, which was enough to kill him. And this guy's got minus... Oh, the armor's -1 is saying he's... Okay, yeah. So we haven't spent any mana yet, by the way. Items don't cost mana. And we've already done things in a very good way here. Now, we could put more creeps here. We could put some creeps here. But we know this thing is just going to kill them eventually. Is it worth it? I don't think so. These creeps are both really good at ramping up and getting stronger over time, and this thing is just going to make sure they die over time. So we don't want to play them in this lane. Notice we have the initiative now, because we were the first one to pass. He did a thing, I did a thing, he did a thing, then I passed, then he passed. So here, I think if we arm the Rebellion, we're going to save this creep. We're going to give all these creeps more damage, including some damage to this guy to begin with, and that's going to be permanent. And we're going to do more damage to the tower as a result. So +2 attack and +1 armor to everything in this lane. Boom. And he's got another damn zombie. So he's going to block my hero, which means I'm not going to do all the damage to that tower. That sucks, but we're going to retain the initiative. Initiative can be incredibly important. We had no other cards to play anyway. But sometimes you will forego playing a card in order to maintain the initiative going into the next. Oh, man. Is that for this round only? Yeah, he gave my hero and its allied neighbors -2 armor this round, which is too damn bad because this guy was going to survive and still be great. But we've got more guys we can put in his place next turn if we need to. Now, we got to go back there for a second because something did happen that we need to point out. When the 2 guys that were between here, when they died, then the lane does compress. When there's nothing either in the same slot for opponent or my side, then the lane will compress. But if there's ever a situation where after this lane will not compress because there's something in each slot. Now, what could we do here? Crippling Blow. Modify a hero with -2 attack. We mentioned we wanted to save that for this guy, because now for the rest of the game, he's got -2 attack. I'm sorry, Debbie from accounting. Ooh, he dealt 2 damage to a unit in any lane, and he killed off one of our creeps over here, I believe. At least he didn't kill off a hero. That's really annoying when he kills off a hero. So we're going to kill their hero and get a lot of gold this turn. We killed 3 heroes this turn. That was a huge turn. But, keep in mind, that means in 2 turns, he's going to have 3 heroes coming out onto the board that he can put wherever he wants. When your heroes are redeploying to a new lane, it gives you a lot of versatility. He could write off this lane and say, no, we're going to lose that lane. I don't care. I'm going to win in these other 2 lanes. Now my big, strong hero is stuck here, and I don't have any way to move him unless I get a special item from the secret shop known as a town portal, which pops, the town portal scroll that pops up on the right side here, which is incredibly valuable. If it's there, think about buying it pretty heavily. But right now, we don't have a town portal scroll. We don't need to fully heal a unit. We could use it on this guy. And we could buy Red Mist Maul. In that case, let's do them both. Yeah, absolutely. Now, remember when we retained initiative? If my opponent had a card, a black card, black cards have a lot of direct damage spells. If my opponent had a black card that did direct damage to this guy, he might be able to kill him before I play my Fountain Flask. But because I have the initiative, I get to play it first. Fully heal a unit. Boom! He gains 7 health. That is very effective.
I'll tear it down.
Ooh, he did a play effect. Deal 4 damage to the enemy tower when that card is played. So it won't deal any more damage to the enemy tower from that effect, because it can't be played again. But if he has more copies of that card, then that's good. But he is going to pass me and go straight through here. I'm going to say I don't care too much. I want to make this guy super frickin' strong. Now, +5 siege means that when your hero is blocked, they'll still do 5 damage to the enemy tower, even if they're blocked, which is a great thing to put on this guy, because Ursa is not something the enemy wants to stick his heroes in front of. They'll get perpetually weaker because of his Fury swipes. So I'm going to put Red Mist Maul on this guy. It's going to give him increased regular attack.
I'll tear them asunder.
Actually, I should have put it on Sven. Now that I think about it, it would have given him extra cleave damage. But either way, we're going to do bonus 5 damage to the enemy tower. Pretty good. Now, a Sucker Punch is something I'm strongly considering here, because he just upgraded this guy with Broadsword. Even though this guy's going to die this turn, he's going to do 9 damage to Ursa, and I just got him back to full. God's Strength is also fantastic. God's Strength is something I play on Sven. If I play that on Sven, 4 extra attack, that means 2 extra cleave damage. That means this guy dies too. That's a pretty good play. Or I could make it so Ursa doesn't take 9 damage. That's a tough call. Because the modify effect is just going to get ramping up over time. Whew. Only 6 man. If I had 7, I'd play both of these. Block this guy and that. Ugh. I think I want to err. He's going to get 3 heroes next turn. I'm going to err on the side of making Ursa survive.
Perhaps your kin will keep for you.
It's also going to increase the damage I do to this tower, which is nice. All right, lane 2. We're looking pretty good here. +1 armor on his neighbors. I think this is the lane where we start putting Savage Wolf. Because, again, every combat phase, this thing gets stronger and harder to kill. If I had 8, I would drop both of these here. But this one ramps up in damage more quickly. So I'm going to start with this one.
Who's ready to play?
Now we're going to do a ton of damage to that tower next turn. Unless he plays heroes
We're
into
gonna
it.
split some heads open with this.
Now this guy, we haven't gone over, he's got multicast. After you play a blue spell, there's 25% chance to put a base copy of that card into your hand. So playing blue cards into the lane where he is pretty awesome. It gives you free copies of the cards. God's Strength is something we're pretty sure we wanted to save for our cleave guy, because he really benefits from it, but we could play it here now and kill another enemy hero. Oof. That's a tough call. Permanent +1 cleave. Or kill this hero and do a lot of damage to this tower next turn. I think we're going to save God's Strength for this lane because this one we're doing much better in. We're obviously doing really well in the middle lane now. We've got full control over it. We're going to do a ton of damage next turn. We've also done a lot of damage to this tower. These are the 2 lanes we're going to focus on, so I'm going to save God's Strength for the first lane. I could put Hellbear Crippler here, if only to use this as a backup. If he starts to fully defend that first lane to where I can't take over and do damage to it, putting an extra creep here to do extra damage to the tower and start really weakening this one is, I think, a good play. Especially because I'm not going to have enough mana to play God's Strength and that Crippler. Whoa! That sucked. That was Mystic Flare. Deal 12 damage evenly divided amongst a unit and its allied neighbors. So he chose the creep, or was that a hero? That was a creep. That was over here to make sure that the 12 damage was done 6 to here and 6 to here. And that's too bad. I wasn't counting on that. So God's Strength would have saved that hero and killed the enemy hero, but what you going to do? The good news is this is going to let us basically take Keith the Bold and realign him to a lane that we're going to do more damage into. Now we've got 10. Equipped hero has +8 health is pretty good. Let's buy that. That could help us save a hero that's about to die. Now, he's coming back with 3 heroes. If he puts any in here, they're going to fight Ursa, and it's going to suck for them. If he puts any here, it's going to pretty decently stop me from doing a lot of damage to this tower. If I put this here, it lets me play green into this. If I put it here, it lets me play green into this. I think right now we're playing no cards into this lane. I think I'd like the option to play with the mana that's in this lane. In addition, it will help defend this. Oh, but that's also kind of weak, huh? He's doing more damage to this than I thought. Let's send it here. Again, we're going to keep our focus on the first two lanes. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to show it was playing in the space too. I thought I changed it on Twitch there. I can change it now. I apparently changed it on YouTube, but not on Twitch. Sorry about that. Alright, back to the game. We got a couple new cards. We got another God Strength. That's great. Unfortunately, our awesome Sven the Cleaver is going to die. Unless we give him a fur-lined mantle. Yeah, then he'll survive. So in this case, let's up his cleave damage and his regular damage so that he kills the hero across from him. Look at this, 14 damage to this hero. Oh, wow, a Dimensional Portal brought 3 new melee creeps into here. He's going to do a lot more damage than I had hoped for. And then we're going to save this hero.
I can use this.
You're mine.
Oh, he put an extra bit of attack on Debbie, meaning that I'm going to lose Ursa. That's too bad, but we're not going to do Poised to Strike here. There's nothing else to... There's no benefit that we could get for it, because it's only a one-round thing. So we're going to pass early, get the initiative for the next round.
You're my puppets.
Oh, he changed his target so that he would kill a second hero this round. That's kind of terrible. Now he's going to get 2 of my heroes, and I'm going to get 2 of his. I'm still doing 5 damage to his tower, which is nice, but man, my tower's in trouble. I've got another hero coming back. I'm going to put it here so it can help block what's going on here. He's got so many creeps. Now, what did he just do? Draw 4 cards. Wow.
By the time they know what to do,
Or draw a card after
it'll
4
be too
turns.
late.
Ooh, he just put a Trebuchet, which does 2 piercing damage to the enemy tower at the beginning of every action phase. Ooh, this is going to hurt the tower. But, remember, he has to kill 2 towers to win. And I'm slowly whittling his down here, and I've got a good position in the middle. Because he spent 2 heroes here to try and stop me. And the good news is this hero... Oh! Did he just... Oh, that was a stupid thing for the bot to do. He didn't need to do the extra damage to that guy. He was already going to kill that guy. He should have done that to Sven. Alright, so here we are. We can put another Savage Wolf here, which will continue to get stronger to help burn this tower down. Or, I could save it, but if I save it, I can't use it for 2 more turns. There's no other lanes with green heroes, so I'm just going to put it here. And the reason I want to put it here, if I put it here, there's a 25% chance it attacks this creep. If I put it here, it's definitely going to attack the tower. Now that I think about it, though, I kind of wouldn't mind if it attacked the creep. It would kill the creep without taking any damage, and it means next turn I'm even in a better position with fewer creeps on the enemy side. Let's see if we get a... We got a straight line, so 75% chance it went straight. He used Foresight to draw 2 cards. I'm going to pass and retain the initiative. He's protecting his tower by forcing my wolf to attack this creep. He's trading long-term benefit, as in some kind of board blockage, for a current benefit, save the tower from taking any health damage. But next turn, this guy's going to be stronger. Oh, he's doing the same thing with that guy. So he's super killing this one creep. All that, by the way, doing 10 damage. None of that goes through to the tower. There's 6 wasted damage there. So that's why he just played those cards. He made it so that I'm doing far less damage to his tower this round. And you can see here, big red X over this tower. Tower health up here, by the way. big red X over this tower because it's going to die next turn, assuming nothing else changes. The good news is my creep is going to kill his blue hero. And I can't do anything here because I have no heroes. So I just have to pass every turn. Oh, he healed him, so he won't lose the hero. So we're still very strong in the middle. And we're kind of strong on the left. It's not great. Ooh, a Claymore is great. +8 attack for the hero. If I put that on Sven, he becomes unstoppable. Let's buy it. So, I was really hoping that these creeps would come into the first lane. But unlucky for me, they went into the last lane. Now I might need to shift my plan. I still think I'm going to give that to Sven because it's going to help him clear out the creeps a little bit. No, because he can't cleave if there's nothing in front of him. There will be something in front of him, however, so that's good. And his cleave damage is currently equal to 4, so it would kill 3 creeps every turn. Potentially. Potentially. So that's good. And he's going to keep doing 9 damage to that tower, and God's Strength will make him do even more damage to that tower. No, because he's going to get blocked. But he's still going to do 5 damage to the tower every turn thanks to the siege. No, the Maul was on a different person. It was on Ursa. Decisions. Now, where's he going to put this black guy? He's probably going to put it over here and hope that it gets slotted against the hero. Honestly, I'm worried that I'm not going to win this lane anymore. Because I'm not going to do any damage to the tower this turn. That's guaranteed. I'm going to put him back over here. I got to do some more focusing on this lane. Especially because that's where my creeps went. So, good news. Sven's going to kill 3 things this turn. I'm going to get 3 gold. Oh, and he zapped him. None of these really help Sven. Is there a better use for the Claymore this turn? Equipped hero has +8 attack. Won't really change anything here. It will help this guy kill this tower sooner. I think I just got to give Sven God's Strength. Because he's going to benefit from it the most. Unless I want this guy to have more potential damage to the tower. But I think that extra cleave damage really is worth it. It means that he's going to do so much, he's always going to kill the 3 things across from him. Especially if I combine it with Poise to Strike when I need to. Yep, he got that tower. So now I cannot lose another tower. I'm in great shape here. I haven't lost any health on this tower at all. And if nothing changes, I take this out. So we're just going to see if he does anything to stop me.
Use this well.
We're still going to take that out. That hasn't changed anything, so we're going to pass again.
Our enemies will fall.
Now, why wouldn't I just assign Claymore now? Because if I assign Claymore now, over-damaging the tower doesn't help. But if I come around next turn, I still haven't decided to give Claymore to anybody. Then I could put Claymore on them and it'll do more damage to the Ancient that's hiding behind the tower. Which is the other way to win, remember. If you can do 80 damage, if I can do 80 damage here, before he does 36 damage or 40 damage, then I will be winning as well. So, I think I'm going to use New Orders to have this guy attack their blue hero. There we go. I changed his target, so we killed the blue hero. Oh, he's not killed yet. Modify a red hero with +1 attack and +1 armor. Sven could use that at least so that it rounds up to the nearest thing, but I think we buffed Sven enough. Let's give it to this guy. Now it's enough to kill him. Worth it. He passed, which means I'm ready. I totally am okay with the way this played out here. We've got more weapons we could potentially use. We don't need to heal any of our heroes, so let's buy another weapon for them. Hello, Desert Wolves. Now, we're getting 2 heroes back, and they're getting 2 heroes back. Where do we want to put our forces? We could put all of our heroes in the center and try to just overwhelming damage that down. Or we could try to kill a tower in the left or right. Now, we know we're not actually doing this 13 damage. This is gonna get slotted in front of Sven and block all of his damage, which sucks, but that's unfortunately. And even if not, he would have put a hero in that slot. So, I think we take our chances with the middle. I think we can burn this down faster than we can take a tower. Or we can take this tower down between these 2 guys. Where's he going to put his heroes? Is the real question. I think I'm going to try to... Yeah, I think it's a good idea to continue matching up Ursa against enemy heroes, because we know he permanently makes them worse. So let's match him up here. He will definitely go up against Ursa. And then we're going to put this guy over here, which gives us the option of playing green cards in this lane, which I think is going to be my ultimate way to win. But putting Ursa here puts eventual pressure on this lane. He has to worry about this. In 4 turns, we'll definitely kill it if nothing else significantly changes. Now, he's doing some damage to my Ancient. I have to worry about that eventually. Ooh, Rebel Decoy. Swap Rebel Decoy with another ally. That's not cool. Alright. I don't think we want to give Sven the Claymore. He's already killing everything across from him. We can give the Claymore to Farvan, because Farvan's doing direct damage to the tower, and the Claymore will put more pressure. Claymore could also go here to guarantee killing that hero. Okay. So, I don't need to do more damage for Sven. I don't need to do anything, so I can just pass safely. There's nothing else I want to do with these. Keep my options open. And I think I do want to give the Claymore to Farvan. Tons of damage. Ooh, that wasn't great. Remember, my Satyr and my Wolf get stronger every turn. So both of these guys are going to have even more attack to this tower next turn. The hero's not going to be in the way of Ursa. This could be a kill next turn. None of these... I could put another Rebel Decoy out here. I don't need to worry about this tower. I don't need to put that here, honestly. I think the Rebel Decoy goes here. And that will allow me to do a couple different things. If he manages to block my big hero that's doing most of my damage, I can swap it out for Rebel Decoy.
The rebellion won't be denied.
That's right. So let's do it.
Prowlers lend their aid.
See, next turn we're winning the game if he doesn't put anything over there. He's got 1 hero coming back that he can put there. Ooh. It's starting to get a little bit worrisome, but I think we're well in hand here. Blade of the Vigil. +2 attack and +2 cleave. That's not really going to help us much. Except it will. If we put the Blade of the Vigil here, this guy will take an extra 2 damage. Not enough to kill him. Because he's got -1 armor. If we put the Blade of the Vigil here, it will give this guy cleave, and the -1 armor will apply a second time, killing him. I love it. Not the Oglodi! Oh, wow, he's doing damage. This guy's taking a lot of damage. But luckily, he's got the Ristual Emblem. He's got a bunch of extra health. Let's see. I don't need to use these to get the kill, so I'll hold on to them. A lot of times, not playing all your cards is really the best move. He's getting that a little weak for me. Especially because I'm losing these guys. Next turn... Oh, no. You and your sneaky, sneaky Keenfolk musket. That's a nice one he's got on her. Debbie from accounting really knows how to do it.
I will defend my people.
We're going to pass again. All right, we're still holding strong on the right, and we're winning in the middle if we nothing else changes. Clajurum Hourglass. Equipped hero has +4 health when her opponent draws a card. Give that card a lock. That's great. That is fantastic. I mean, if we had gotten it earlier, it would be fantastic. I'm going to actually draw a card, and I'll get that, because why the hell not? It might be the last turn of the game. The lock means that they can't use the card that they've drawn for X number of turns. In this case, it's lock 1 for 1 turn. Hell, we're even coming close here. Now, we didn't have any choices for heroes. They deployed a hero. Where did they deploy their blue hero to? Ooh, yeah, that thing pops every turn. They deployed their blue hero to the center, and their creep randomly is helping to block against my strongest hero. That sucks. We'll try swapping their positions with... Oh, no, we don't have to try. Oh, no, we do. We have to try swapping with Rebel Decoy and hope that we get a 75% chance that this guy goes past into the center. Anyway, we're working on the middle here. We could enrage him and do an extra 4 damage to the tower this turn. And we could poise to strike him, doing another 4 damage. Damn, that would be so close. Look at that. 8 is not quite enough damage. You could draw a card and maybe get something else. Oh! Oh, is that enough? 4, 5... Yeah! Yeah, it is. What did he do? He just played the gold mine. Well, we might win right here in this lane. Oh, good. This hero won't die. Congratulations. Oh, we have to put the Bronze Legionnaire somewhere else. Oh, that's too bad. We'll put him here.
I'll fight till my dying breath. My strength is unmatched.
This is an accessory. We don't want to overwrite his accessory with it. He might just die. He's got 1 left in that lane. Now, oh, you know what? We don't need to do the swap thing. We do. Because look, this guy's getting pulled over here too. That's awful. He's doing his 9 damage. Hers is worse. Let's see if we can get that 44 damage. So I'm going to use his ability to swap with her and hope that when she gets put here, she has a 75% chance of not attacking him.
Hey, over here.
Yeah, she went straight. Perfect. So now we're doing 40. Now we can give this guy new orders and have him attack the tower. Boom. He can't stop me, so my turn marker has turned into a victory symbol. Huzzah, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you play the game. Hopefully that has answered most of your questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I might do a video where I explain all the things that people have questions about. Yeah, I think that's it. We're going to end it here so that the video doesn't look any longer than it is. Keep in mind, most games last 20 to 30 minutes. They don't last as long as this did. All right, I hope that makes sense. See you guys later. This is Bridger, signing off.